So the Cincinnati Bengals have two quarterbacks in town right now who are going to be the short-term replacement for Joe Burrow during the training camp and the preseason. Now, these quarterbacks will not be the first team quarterbacks. These will be the second, the third, and the fourth team quarterbacks. So keep that in mind. Trevor Siemian is going to be running the first team for the rest of training camp and preseason. And then you have the second team, the third team, and the fourth team. The first quarterback they're bringing in, as it says right here, is Drew Plitt. Now, you might not know who he is. Well, Drew Plitt played for a total of 5 seasons at Ball State, where, yes, he actually was decently okay. I'm going to say decently okay because he did score 68 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Obviously, not a big college by any stretch of the imagination, but still pretty decent stats for his time there. He had 9,061 passing yards, and yeah, he was actually a pretty decent quarterback. Now, this guy right here is currently in the XFL. Well, before, now being worked out by the Cincinnati Bengals. In the XFL, though, of course, it says right here on April 3rd, the Renegades placed him on IR Monday. And, of course, now he is healthy and ready to go because he is trying out for the Cincinnati Bengals. In the XFL, Plitt went ahead and threw for 658 yards and 3 touchdowns with 4 interceptions in the 4 games that he played. So, I mean, he put up some pretty dang decent stats in his time with the XFL. But now, again, like I said, he is trying here to get into the NFL with the Cincinnati Bengals. And just a little key tip, his problem that he had was a knee injury, and he was supposed to be back by May 1st, which is when he came back. So the second guy that we're actually working out is named Reed Sinnett. Now, Reed Sinnett is actually, surprisingly enough, not new to the NFL. He played for the Miami Dolphins. He also played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He played for Miami Dolphins in 2021 and then the Eagles 2021-2022. And if we look at his game log, yeah, he never really became a starting roster type of player, but he was on practice squads left and right. So he started off in 2020 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he was waived. Then he had a tryout with the Miami Dolphins, and he made their practice squad, looks like here, 4 different times, which is kind of interesting. He then went ahead and made the Miami Dolphins practice squad throughout the year. I'm just going to, I'm not going to count all this, but I'm going to say like 10, 15 times. Then, of course, in 2021, he made the Dolphins practice squad again. Then he went to the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. And, yeah, he's been on the practice squad, moved up to the roster, like 3rd, 4th string quarterback, moved back to the practice squad. He's been going back and forth, but he's never actually played any football in the NFL. He's always been that guy who's been, the training camp guy or the preseason guy. And kind of exactly what Jake Browning has been for the Bengals here. He is never the guy who's actually gotten the chance to go out there and put up some numbers. Now, of course, just like Drew, he was an XFL quarterback. And surprisingly enough, just like Drew, he actually was on the IR. So that may be another reason why Cincy is bringing him in here to see how he can play, because he was on the IR. He was placed on the IR on March 23rd with a foot injury. And he's not actually supposed to return until August 1st, which is 2 days from now. So he actually, technically speaking, is not 100% healthy yet, and he's still recovering from his injury. But, again, like I said, what did he do in XFL? He's only played 1 game. He had 97 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. So, nothing really special, crazy-wise. And keep in mind, guys, again, these quarterbacks coming in, they're not supposed to be the guy that replaces Joe Burrow. So, for example, Trevor Siemian is the backup quarterback. The reason why they're not going out there and spending money to get, let's say, for example, Teddy Bridgewater or another, proven veteran is because they have faith in, Trevor Siemian to be the backup quarterback for Joe Burrow. Now, obviously, Joe Burrow is coming back in 3 weeks, so it's not like, we have to worry about the regular season. If we had to worry about the regular season, they would actually be getting real, true veteran quarterbacks to try to back this up and then, try to work on this. But with that being said, this is just for training camp. This is just for preseason. You got to keep in mind you want to have as many quarterbacks as possible in training camp and preseason because you don't want to overwork one player. So, for example, now Trevor Siemian is going to be running the first team offense. Well, if he's running the first team offense, and let's say then they don't have a second team offensive guy, well, now they would have to use Trevor Siemian twice, and he would be overworking himself, and that could cause injuries. So what they do is, okay, with Trevor Siemian, now your first team with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and all that stuff, right? And now the second team offense is going to be ran by maybe Jake Browning. The third team offense might be ran by one of these guys. And keep in mind, they're not going to sign both of these guys. They're just working out both of them. So it's very possible they only sign one of them and they become the third quarterback on the depth chart. And that third quarterback runs the third team. So just a little bit of information there. But again, like I said, it's going to be interested to see which of these guys ends up going ahead and making this. Now, neither of these guys will make the 53-man roster in the end, so you're never going to see these guys other than preseason, maybe. And I say maybe, you'll probably see one of the two. But yeah, so once the season kicks off, we'll probably see Jake Browning go back to the practice squad unless he does somehow beat out Trevor Siemian in training camp / preseason. But if not, we're probably going to see two quarterbacks on the roster for the final 53-man roster. We'll probably see Trevor Siemian and Joe Burrow, Jake Browning, and then my guess is Drew Plitt or maybe Sinnett. But at the end of the day, these guys will probably end up just either going to the practice squad, which I'm going to guess probably not because we'll have Jake Browning there. They'll probably just go back to the XFL. So, especially right now when they're recovering from their injuries, they're trying to get better. Obviously, Drew's already recovered, but Sinnett still has like 2 days technically before he's supposed to estimate a return. So, they're just, spend some time with the Bengals, do the system, get better, improve, and you got to keep in mind they're going to improve themselves as a player. And then they go back to the XFL, and then bam, they do whatever they do in the XFL. But when it comes to, the NFL, this is probably the only chance they're going to get to do anything. And in all honesty, both these guys, as you saw, it's not like they're great XFL quarterbacks. I mean, they've only played 1 game here and 4 games there. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.